Mr. Santos to get seated on a committee today?
Yeah, we'll be done with all committees today. He'll get seated on committees, yes.
You said yesterday you had some questions about his past. Did you raise concerns during the campaign season before the election?
Well, my staff raised concerns when he had a staff member who impersonated my chief of staff, and that individual was let go when Mr. Santos found out about it from there.
That was Speaker Kevin McCarthy trying and failing to explain why he's allowing con man and New York Congressman George Santos to sit on committees. Last week, McCarthy raised concerns that Santos may pose a national security risk if he's given access to top committees. But this week, well, now it's just fine. But now even more damaging information is emerging about George Santos. And as it turns out, George Santos may not even be his real name. Here's one of Santos's former roommates expressing confusion about the brand new man Santos has suddenly become.
He had made allegations that he came from generational wealth, and you're saying that his mother was a housekeeper in the city, in Manhattan. Yeah. So people are going to wonder, and also, you know, you knew him through another name, right? The last name DeVolder.
Yes, I've always known him as Anthony DeVolder. I've never known him as George Santos. I was actually quite surprised. I guess he, went by his middle name and his mother's name. But yeah, no, I've always known him as Anthony DeVolder.
Santos has also been caught lying about his college education, during which he claimed to be a star volleyball player on the Baruch College men's team. There's just one problem. Well, actually, there are quite a few problems here. I'll let George Santos tell you the story himself.
You know, it's funny. I actually went to school on a volleyball scholarship.
You did?
Wow. I did, yeah. When I was in Baruch, we were the number one volleyball.
Did you graduate
team.
from Baruch? Did you graduate from there?
Yeah.
So did I.
We went to play against Harvard, Yale, and we slay them. We slay them. We were champions across the entire Northeast corridor. Every school that came up against us, they were shaking at the time. And it's funny, I was the smallest guy, and I'm 6'2".
Not only does Baruch College have no record of George Santos ever attending, he certainly wasn't a star volleyball player. But Santos's lies don't stop there. He dug the hole further by claiming he actually played so much volleyball that he needed not one, but 2 knee replacements. Listen to this mess.
It was a great time. I sacrificed both my knees and got very nice knee replacements from HSS playing volleyball. That's how serious I took the game.
As it turns out, Santos isn't just lying, he's also stealing the life stories of real people. As the handbasket discovered after researching the team, Santos is most likely stealing key details from real-life Baruch volleyball player Pablo Oliveira. And Santos went so far as to claim he co-founded a company the real Oliveira actually founded, Linkbridge Investors. That, too, turned out to be a lie. So let's recap. We can't prove George Santos is actually named George Santos. We can't prove he went to Baruch. We can't prove he set foot in a classroom at all. And that's probably why the guy finds the Constitution so confusing. At least, that's what he said during this weird interview on public access TV.
I'm always thinking that we're always losing a right on a daily basis. I watched a lecture by Chris Ann Hall. She's a constitutionalist, and she can tear it down to the atom and explain it to you like you're a 2-year-old, and believe it or not, sometimes I need that kind of explanation, especially the Constitution, which I personally find to be a very elaborate and quite obsessively formal language that was used to write it. And I have a college education. And sometimes I look at it and I'm trying to interpret it the best way possible.
It's no surprise that Santos, who needs the Constitution explained to him like he's a 2-year-old, has become fast friends with another House moron, Georgia Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene. And Greene has assured Santos that as long as he toes the party line, he'll have a safe spot on Republican committees. That shouldn't be Greene's decision, but then again, she is the new voice of Kevin McCarthy. One thing is clear. George Santos loves to talk, and talk, and talk. And he also loves scolding people he calls the lazy youths of America, which is pretty rich, coming from a guy who can't prove he ever held a single job or went to college at all, but here he is sounding off on public access TV again.
But we need to make conservatism something tangible and something attractive. And what my fear is that youth today is more so interested in what they can get for free versus how hard they can work for something and accomplish it. And that's where I sadly feel it's hard to find words, but I feel so much more compelled in telling them it feels so much better when you accomplish everything and you hold on to your values.
All of this has proven to be just a little too much for a lot of Republicans, including every Republican leader in Santos's Long Island district. Earlier this month, the Nassau County Republican Party called Santos out as a liar and a fraud. Imagine how bad you have to screw up to have a Republican call your campaign a disgrace.
George Santos's campaign last year was a campaign of deceit, lies, and fabrication. His lies were not mere fibs. He disgraced the House of Representatives, and in particular, his fabrications went too far. Many groups were hurt. Specifically, I look at those families that were touched by the horrors of the Holocaust and feel for them. He has no place in the Nassau County Republican Committee, nor should he serve in public service, nor as an elected official. He's not welcome here at Republican headquarters for meetings or at any of our events. As I said, he's disgraced the House of Representatives, and we do not consider him one of our congresspeople. Today, on behalf of the Nassau County Republican Committee, I am calling for his immediate resignation.
The Republican Jewish Coalition took things a step further, slapping Santos with a lifetime ban from ever attending any of their events again. Unfortunately for his constituents, George Santos's absolutely insane level of lies doesn't seem to concern Kevin McCarthy or Washington Republicans, so he'll likely get away with almost all of it. New York Democratic Congressman Richie Torres said it best, telling MSNBC's Joy Reid that a figure like Santos was inevitable in a party so hollowed out by Donald Trump's lies and grifting.
You know, ultimately, George Santos is not only a reflection on himself, he's an indictment of what the Republican Party has become. Fraudulence breeds fraudulence. And when you have a political party organized around the big lie, when you have a political party that's become a cult of personality around a fraud like Donald Trump, charlatans like George Santos will inevitably follow. So as far as I'm concerned, the fraudulence of George Santos must be seen in the context of the Trumpian rot at the core of the Republican Party.
The fact that Santos was allowed to continue campaigning even after Republicans realized his life was a lie speaks volumes about the weakness and corruption of the GOP. Now this dope is America's problem, and we certainly haven't heard the last from George Santos, or whatever his name actually is. If you made it to the end, thanks so much for watching. Please leave a like and consider subscribing. And leave a comment below so you can let me know what I should cover next.